In what ways has capoeira contributed to your mental well-being?
Oof, where do I start? Um, More ways that I can count. I guess fastest way to summarize it is capoeira literally saved my life. As I was going, as many teenagers and children go through, difficult times in their teens, where you're trying to figure out who you are, what you love, what interests you. I was going for a very hard time as a child, as a teenager, especially with many personal, emotional, social, and physical challenges at the time. Capoeira gave me focus, gave me resilience, self-confidence, stronger mind, and stronger spirit and body. And I think the biggest thing that I would say capoeira teaches you, or taught me at least, is how to handle problem and challenges and constantly improve yourself in any way you can. Because as I mentioned before, the capoeira game and the roda is very often a reflection of some of the problems and challenges and difficulties that we ourselves are struggling with our inside world. And the result, it manifests itself into the game that we see outside. And capoeira teaches us how to overcome those and learn the lessons from this experience. I know from my experience, I can say till today that my teacher and my master helped me see a lot of the things that I myself can improve on. It's the biggest tool for self-improvement and self-development that we can have, really.
I'm glad that capoeira has been that for you. I think that can be very, it could be hard when there's not that outlet for people. And, I definitely found that sometimes, there was a few certain instances where I was like, okay, I'm glad I have this with martial arts because it was really helpful at the time. But yeah, like that's really great to hear that that was something that you were able to have, especially with your master. I'm curious, do you call them your master in capoeira, or is it sensei, or
Well, again, the different schools might have different philosophy on it. I
right?
always believe that the only time you have to refer to somebody by their title, so to speak, or their belt, whatever rank, is when they're teaching in class.
Yeah.
Yes, because your teacher becomes your teacher, your master, either one. But the reason you call it your master's mestre in Portuguese also refers to a teacher,
Yeah.
because your teacher in many ways becomes your life guide almost. Yeah, a lot of the things that you don't notice in yourself, your teacher is able to help you realize.
Mhm.
Many students also throughout times they choose different teachers, and in the end of the day, especially in capoeira, and I think in any martial artist or mover who respects themselves, you don't always learn from just one person.
True.
You have the one guide or your one teacher who you choose to be your main point of reference. But even my teacher, for example, he learned from many, 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 many teachers. Even though he has, his master, who is a master of our school. We'll say master just because it's the rank. But he had
Mhm.
his teacher who was obviously his teacher for many years. But at one point, they became colleagues and they learned from each other. And this is one of the things I think is very special in capoeira. You constantly learn. I learn from my students every day. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is part of what makes capoeira special, because it constantly develops and changes. So everybody has something that they can bring into capoeira. You bring an idea on the table, and if you see, okay, wow, this can really better our community, this can really better capoeira, then adapt. Because this is what happened with capoeira for hundreds of years. Capoeira we play today was very different 100 years or 200 years ago.
Mhm.
And the capoeira we play today is thanks to the contributions that many people, from students to more advanced students to masters to people of all levels, contributed and brought into capoeira, including many of the dances that were kind of born from capoeira, like maculelé or samba. These are very, very famous, well-known Brazilian dances till today, and practice in capoeira as well as in Brazilian culture in general.
If you want to hear more stories, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like. To support more youth by youth led projects, visit us at youthspeak.ca, where you can donate and spread youth mental health awareness.
YouthSpeak Charity. Speak, inspire, change.